Okay, Matt. I'm going to do some DVD commentary on this Judy Wood documentary. Here we go.
Empirical evidence is the truth that theory must mimic, not the other way around.
If you watch her video, you got to watch my video.
Evidence. By empirical evidence, we mean the evidence that anybody can look at and see. So all of you are capable of knowing what happened.
Yes, those are my
I don't
clothes.
want you to take my word for it. I want you to understand it for yourself.
Okay, all right, LeVar Burton.
To be empowered to own the information. The towers didn't burn up, nor did they slam to the ground.
They didn't slam to the ground.
They turned into dust in midair.
Right, they turned into dust.
The
Yeah. Well, let's just take a look at that picture
you
again.
to be empowered to own the information.
Right.
The towers didn't burn up.
They turned into dust. Right. Well, what about all this other solid stuff amongst the dust? So there's some dust. I believe you there. I can see it. But that means you also have to ignore that all this other chunks of things in the cloud of dust to think that it's only dust that's coming down. I can see that there's other stuff mixed in. All right. Anyway, it's going to be a long video if I keep doing that. So we'll
slam to the ground.
Yeah, slam to the ground.
Into dust in midair.
I can't tell you how much I hate this woman.
We don't know a name for that. It needs a new name. I call it dustification.
Dustification.
That's building 3.
Shut up.
People overlook that building. That material there is all that was left of that building. And
yeah, I mean, look at all this material. This is all that's left. What? It's look at. God damn it, Matt. Look, there's pieces of the fucking building, dude. All right. This isn't the cup and ball trick here where there's no ball underneath the cup. There's some fucking balls right there.
Or 2, all right. At the lobby size down there.
Wow, see, look, everything disappeared. She's showing pictures of rubble.
Big of a mass was there.
Yeah.
And then it is gone.
What do you mean it's gone? It's right there. Look. Fuck. That's like 4 stories worth of crap piled on top of itself. It's not gone. I hate this lady so much.
Picture was taken on 9/11. Where is all the debris?
Where's all the debris? Oh yeah, Nikola Tesla. All the fucking geniuses bring him up.
But was afraid it might be used for evil purposes.
Yeah, evil purposes. That's why he didn't. That's why he didn't want the world to know about it.
Already happened. Here is Tower 1.
Clearly an energy weapon.
And you can see it shooting up and out. In controlled demolition.
Look at all this crap coming off the fucking building, dude. God damn it, Matt. Look at this. Yeah, I get it. There's lots of dust. But you can see that there are giant chunks of concrete and rubble mixed in with the fucking dust.
They're chopped up into chunks. The chunks slam to the ground.
Look at this. God damn it. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this.
Well, been there, done that.
Been there, done that.
What happened? Here is Tower 1.
Look at this right here. It's not all dust. Those are like dump truck size boulders mixed in with the fucking dust. There's, come on, man.
In dust, frothing up into dust. And you can see it shooting up and out. In controlled demolition.
What do you expect? A bunch of Lego pieces to fall?
And then there's dust. This is dust before it hits the ground.
It's not dust before it hits the ground. There's dust, and then there's other shit.
So why didn't people see this on 9/11?
They did. We're seeing it now.
Skills, groupthink, or peer pressure. And the third
Peer
thing
pressure.
Is they're terrified of the implications.
Yeah, we're terrified of the implications.
See what happens. Oh dear, But that doesn't change the fact that it happened.
Yeah, even though it's just as scary or much more scary to think that even with all the security that's in place, 12 guys from a cave in Afghanistan got through. I mean, that's a scarier proposition.
But we're going to focus on problem solving.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's solve some problems here.
All right? What's the question?
What is the question?
Before you know...
Oh, enough with your gimmicks. Just get with the horse shit.
In this equation here, if you add the 4 and 5 first, and then multiply by 3, you get 27.
Oh my God, we're doing math problems here?
5 times 3, and then add the 4, you get 19. Maybe we should just add the 2, and we'll get, the average.
What?
A lot of folks approach 9/11.
This is your expert?
The average everything together. Let's say it was this plus this plus this. No, that's not the correct answer.
All right. Enough with this horse.
Data collection.
Dumb.
Because what happens if it was something else?
Yeah, what happens? Okay, that's enough of that.
See, what you're doing is starting out with a theory of how it happened and using that to determine what...
That's what you're doing. You're assuming that it's energy weapons, and then you're looking for evidence to support that idea. You're doing that.
That's a syntax error.
Yeah.
Here are some
syntax
steel beams
error.
falling through the air.
That sounds like a big word.
The outer columns, that's an enormous amount of dust.
Yeah.
Turns out
there's a bunch of other shit mixed in with the fucking dust. All this clumps of concrete. It's not all dust.
Steel frothing up and turning to dust as it falls.
It isn't.
So here they are falling through the air, trailing an enormous amount of dust. That dust was so dense it blocked out 100% sunlight for some period of time.
What period of time? Who cares?
What happened first is important.
Yeah, that's good.
Then you can determine how it happened. Who's involved?
All right.
Could have had over 1 million tons of debris piled up there. That didn't happen.
What do you mean that didn't happen? I see debris. It's right here. There's debris everywhere. It's all over the fucking place. Oops. What happened? Play.
Over 1 million tons of debris piled up there.
Nice plug for Verizon down there. Oh, okay. It's just a still. I mean, you can't really see much. I'm not sure why this is in her presentation.
If there was over 1 million tons of debris on the ground, we'd certainly see it.
Yeah.
There are 2 towers.
Okay.
There's building 3. And you go to work in Bankers Trust, about the 20th floor.
Yeah.
And you look out the window across the street. What do you see? What are you going to see?
Oh, let's just get along. Oh, gee, I don't see any debris there. I mean, we're not measuring it to find out how much is actually there, but she's doing the exact same thing I'm doing. She's looking at it, and she's assuming it's not the right amount. It's there. There's the debris. You don't know if it's the right amount or not. You're assuming that it isn't because she's already come up with her conclusion ahead of time. She's a horrible scientist.
Tower 1 is gone. Tower 2 is gone. Where's the material?
It's right there.
What happened? The towers didn't burn up, nor did they slam to the ground.
Okay.
They turned into dust.
Yeah, but all this other stuff that doesn't exist. Well, look at this fucking. I gotta go backwards. I'll go backwards.
They slammed to the ground. They turned into dust.
Yeah, they turned into dust. Yeah, like this big chunk. That's dust. Yeah, this square object. That's clearly not there. That doesn't exist. There's none of that. Like this stuff here, right here. Like that doesn't, that's not actually there. It's just the dust that she sees. She sees only dust. She doesn't see this giant piece of the building mixed in with the dust. Here's some more right angles. That's part of the building. How about over here? Just dust like forming perfect parts of a building. Ugh.
All of Lower Manhattan would have been flooded because the towers were built in the Hudson River on bedrock 70 feet below the water table with a dike around it.
So why isn't it always flooded? Why wasn't it flooded beforehand? Did they maybe
That
build
didn't
something
happen.
that prevented that from happening?
Here's when it was initially built.
Like a
before,
dike, which
because
was
the
she
FC
just
company
mentioned?
built across the street. There's the bathtub. There's the original shoreline, and they of course wanted more of this real estate in Manhattan, so they built the towers out here with the dike around them. If those towers had slammed down, those would have been busted. As a matter of fact,
I mean,
you know that
what do you mean? If those flowers would have slammed down, that's her smoking gun. That the dike wasn't damaged, so therefore the building didn't fall. I mean, we saw it fall. I don't know what she means by that. Come on, dude. This lady is a fucking crackpot.
when they went to take down this portion of it,
Well, look at all that
they
debris
pulled it
that's
down
not
with
there.
cables. They didn't want to use explosives because they knew it would damage the wall.
We have to be very careful how we demolish Building 6. We worry about the Building 6 coming down and then damaging the slurry wall, so we wanted that particular building to fall within a certain area.
Yeah. Okay. And what's the significance of that? And by the way,
Fall within a certain area.
yeah. Let me try and pause it at the right time, the right moment here. Okay, so like there's not enough debris to equal the amount of debris that there should be for Tower 1 and 2. Here we have a debris pile for a smaller building. It looks like a lot of fucking debris. I mean, what do you expect the debris pile to be? Equal the size of the building? No, it flattens out, it spreads out. I mean, here you have a pile that looks roughly the same as both Tower 1 and 2. And this is building 6 that they demolished. It looks the same. They both look demolished. Oh, God.
And if the towers had slammed to the ground, the seismic signals.
Oh, this is good. This gets real good right here.
Would have registered that much material slamming to the ground, and that didn't happen.
Didn't
Seismic
happen.
impact. This is the real smoking gun.
Here's the smoking gun.
One of the first responders said, "I don't remember the sound of a building hitting the ground."
Okay.
Somebody told me that it was measured on the Richter scale. I don't know how true that is. If the building's hitting the ground that hard, why don't I remember the
This
sound?
lady's so
Because
smart that she disproves
earlier
herself.
that year, there was an earthquake in Midtown Manhattan. So let's look at the signal the towers made. The ground shook for 8 seconds.
Okay.
Notice there's no other signal prior to this one, and this
We got that.
very wide spacing. In a typical earthquake, you first get the P wave. The primary wave arrives, and then the secondary wave arrives.
Yeah.
Notice the spacing. They're much closer together than these signals. This one does not reflect a P wave.
So literally what she's saying is that the vibration that was produced by the towers falling, the signature of that vibration is not the same as an earthquake. And so therefore they didn't fall?
Or an S wave. The seismic signal did not travel through the earth. There were only surface waves. But
That's because the building fell on the surface. Earthquakes happen inside of the fucking earth, not on top of the goddamn earth.
difference in the timing of the P wave and S wave arrival tells you how far away the epicenter is, because those two waves travel at different speeds through the earth. And it's only 8 seconds. It takes 9.5 seconds to drop a bowling ball off the roof and have it hit.
I don't know why she's bringing that up. It really,
Houston,
in my mind, that doesn't have any significance. The height of the tower has nothing to do with the speed of the seismic waves that are produced when the building hits the ground. I don't understand why she's bringing that up. My only guess is that she's a fucking retard because it doesn't matter.
problem. Tower 1.
This is good right
That's its
here.
demise. And
Right.
then all afternoon, there's these quarry blasts that were recorded. That's from the Fox Islands, which is part of the Aleutian Islands. They had a little earthquake up there.
Completely
But there's
not relevant
an
to,
equivalent of 0.6 on the Richter scale.
yeah.
for building 7.
Okay.
Which is
0.6.
this little line here.
Yeah.
It was a non-seismic event.
Non-seismic
Seismic
event.
away and didn't make a seismic event that you could register.
Except that this fucking bitch is so stupid. She just said it's a non-seismic event that was undetectable, yet the fucking detection is right there, bitch. 0.6, not you, the lady. 0.6 on the Richter scale. She's tripping over her own words. It is detectable. There's the number,
Now we're going to
0.6.
look out the other direction, over building 4, and see what that looks like.
Let's see what that looks like. Show me, please. I want to know.
The north wing of building 4 is still there, but the main body is missing.
Yeah. And
That's weird. That's when it often gets forgotten.
what's weird about that? What's weird about that? Have we seen a lot of buildings fall in this area to compare this to? No, we only see one. So we don't know what's weird and what's not.
That seemed to be sliced off like with an X-Acto knife, and the main body of the building just went missing. Where'd it go?
What do you mean, where'd it go? It's on the ground.
Where the top of Tower 2 was tipping over and it turned to dust, that's where it would have fallen. If the top 35 floors of Tower 2 had fallen to the ground, landed on building 4, would it look like that?
Matt, come on. What do you mean, would it look like that? How would anybody know what it should look like? We've only seen it happen one time. We've only seen this happen one time. There's nothing for us to compare it to. She doesn't know what it should look like. We only know what it does look like. Ugh. God, this lady, it's taxing listening to her talk.
Towers, buildings, show you where the holes were. Weird holes.
Yeah, hey, by the way, fell into its own footprint, huh? The debris field covered this entire area. This whole area. The footprint of the towers are inside those square boxes. Yet the debris field covers this entire area. That's not its footprint. That's not its footprint. Its footprint is inside of those squares. Yet somehow the debris field has gone outside those squares' border. How did that happen if it fell into its footprint? Clearly it didn't.
The main part of building 4 that's gone missing. You have holes in the streets.
Holes in the streets.
Including Vesey Street. And this huge hole in
Hey,
building 6.
whoa, look at all that debris.
Looks like a lot of small
I thought it disappeared.
household-
By the way, this fucking bitch,
Buildings.
man. This lady, I hate this lady so much. She
Weird
should be burned at
hole.
the stake.
Here is the main part of building
Hey.
4 that's
Look at all that steel. I thought it disappeared. There's steel girders in there. See all those straight lines? Those are steel girders. I thought they disappeared. They vaporized.
You have holes in the streets, including Vesey Street, and this huge
Hey,
hole.
look, there's some more steel mixed in there. I thought it had disappeared. Ugh.
6.
God, okay, this lady is such a...
Looks like a lot of smaller holes, like a post hole digger.
Yeah, that's
dug
what
it out.
happened. Shut up.
It was announced 6 different times at least that One Liberty Plaza was collapsing. It's still standing. It became a running joke.
Because of that One Liberty Plaza building, which is just to the
I don't know what the
east
significance of this is. Who gives a shit? I mean, who really gives a shit about this part? I don't really understand why it's in here.
Then said they saw some windows starting to break.
Well, we are seeing the windows breaking from where we're standing. We could see the windows falling out or facing falling out.
Now, we are told that some 100 buildings in the surrounding area have been damaged.
Yeah.
There was a
Fell into
report
its own
last night
footprint.
that
100 other
54-story
buildings were
building was
damaged.
about to collapse. We have now confirmed through the building management of that building that is not true.
So what? People reported incorrectly? Who
You
cares?
see, you can see the north wall and the south wall. Where's the building?
It's there! They're walking on top of it! They're walking on it. It's right there. That's where it is. The building is there. It's in a pile. It's no longer standing. There's no mystery here.
The north wall and the south wall, there's virtually nothing in between. This ambulance doesn't look clobbered. No crunched in marks. You don't.
Obviously, the debris that was falling around it missed it. How about all the other cars that didn't come out unscathed? Let's look at those. You know why she's not showing those? Because it's under the fucking rubble.
Just this aluminum cladding that was a decorative type material. There's some steel wheat checks here stabbed into the pavement off the picture. But there really is very little steel. 110-story building just went missing.
It didn't.
This was from a news report the day after.
Is down in Lower Manhattan today, George. Jackie, John, and several other people keep asking us, where did all the rubble go?
Where did all the rubble go?
You can see the very remains, the skeletal remains of the World Trade Center. And one volunteer, Robert Gerlinsky, explained to me the reason there's so little rubble is that all of it simply fell down into the ground and was.
You know what he means? He means fell down into the seven. I think it's 7 floors below ground. That's the parking structure. So what he means by that is that it fell into the parking structure. It collapsed, which is below ground level. So it looks as though there's not that much debris. The reason is because it's below the fucking ground. That's why that guy said that. She's not going to give that charitable interpretation because she has an agenda to push.
And what he's telling us is that there's virtually no building left. Here's a map of what was left. And let's focus at that point.
What a
there,
useless
the base
map.
of Tower 1. 14 people walked out. 14 people walked out of here, too. That little stub at the base of Tower 3. Mm-hmm. They were right down here at the base of Tower 1.
And?
110-story building went away.
Right.
And they weren't crushed.
No shit. How about the 5,000 other people that were crushed? She's looking at survivors of an incident, you know, a plane crash out of the sky or a train wreck or a car, and seeing and pointing out that a few people survived and saying, well, therefore a plane didn't crash, or therefore a train didn't wreck, or therefore there wasn't a car crash. It was energy weapons or something. Ignoring the fact that, first of all, that's not really evidence of anything other than sometimes people survive horrific situations. But she's also not pointing out the fact that 5,000 motherfucking people died in the collapse of this building. And a handful of people survived, which is indicative of what? Nothing.
Jay Jonas, one of the firefighters trapped in there, said, I looked and said, guys, there used to be 106 floors above us, and now I'm seeing sunshine. There's nothing above us. Those big buildings don't exist.
Yeah, they collapsed it. They collapsed it. Holy shit. Now I sound as retarded as this bitch.
And he later said, these were the biggest office buildings in the world, and I didn't see one desk, one chair, one phone, nothing.
Yeah, well, if concrete is crumbling and being pulverized, how much of a chance does an office chair have? All right. Oh, okay, all right. Who cares?
The collapse of the North Tower.
This is absolutely ridiculous right here.
The 110-story tower disintegrated. In just 10 seconds.
Oh. How does a collapse disintegrate? Ugh. They're attaching some kind of significance to this news reporter from the BBC and the words that he chooses: collapsing, disintegrating. I assume there's some poetic license. He's trying to add some drama to the story, and this guy's like, this is an add-in to the documentary. I don't think this wood lady added this in. I think the person that runs this channel added this in, and he's taking the word of a news reporter as like a structural engineer talking about it. He's a fucking news reporter. He's gonna use sexy language to describe an incident, and that's what he's doing here. He said collapse, but then disintegrate? Oh, conspiracy much? All right, I'm going to fast forward. This is fucking stupid.
Notice that the dust doesn't rise.
Except it does! Oh, this lady, I don't know if she's dumb or she's just not good at putting presentations together, but she's saying like dust doesn't rise above the structure collapsing, except for there's some fucking dust above the goddamn structure right here, and just generally above the structure here. This is the structure down here. The outline of the building, you can't see because of my phone, but the outline of the building is below the peak of this dust cloud. So I don't know what the hell she was thinking with this slide. This was a bad move. She shouldn't have shown this. If she had not shown this and just shown the rest of this, I wouldn't be able to say anything about this. But with this frame right here that she added in, she's just disproved herself. The cloud of dust is clearly above the structure of the building as it's collapsing. Ooh. Hate her. I hate this woman. She sucks.
Much above the highest point of the building.
Much. Oh, yeah. Well, I guess she's sort of qualified.
It was a non-seismic event. Building 7 went away.
Non-seismic event, except that it was detectable.
That you could register on this chart. Well, here's a controlled demolition, the Seattle Kingdom. March 26, 2000. The P wave arrives at the seismic station.
All right,
and
with the
S
P
wave
waves.
arrives at the seismic station. See how closely spaced that signal is.
Yeah.
It takes.
You know what the problem with this is, what she's doing here? We don't know where the seismic readings are being taken, where the station is in relation to where the kingdom is, the Seattle Kingdom. So this could be completely misleading. I don't know if it is, but that's the problem. The fact that she's not putting in the location of the detector where they're detecting the seismic waves, it leads me to believe that she's being deceptive here, because otherwise she should be putting it in. And which she didn't do with the World Trade Center Tower 1 and 2 seismic waves that were detected either. She didn't tell us where the detection was, because her point is that there's some kind of incongruency with the length of time it took for the seismic waves to reach the detector. Well, we got to know where that fucking is, because otherwise they could be anywhere.
4 seconds to drop a bowling ball off the roof of the kingdom.
Yeah, again, I don't know why that's significant. It doesn't sound significant to me.
For at least 9 seconds in the major part, so at least twice as long instead of less.
Except for actually in her chart that she put up, it shook for 8 seconds. And once again, the seismic waves they're detecting, they diminish the further away. She even said it herself. They diminish the further away you get from the source. We don't know where the detector is in relation to the Seattle Kingdom, and we don't know where the detector is in relation to the World Tower 7, or World Tower 1 and 2. She's not saying that. And you know why? Because she's trying to fucking trick us.
Here are other signals. There are 5 different recording stations for Building 7. None of them could see an S wave or a P wave. They calculated when it should have arrived. The 6.4 is the time it takes to drop a bowling ball off the roof. The surface wave lasted for less time. And actually,
So what? So what? She's comparing the length of time a seismic wave begins and ends, and comparing that to the free fall speed of the from the height of the building to the floor, and that's relevant. Why?
The stations, they couldn't even find a surface wave arriving. What is the signal for buildings?
Where's the signal? It's right there. 0.6 on the Richter scale. I don't know if she's dumb or I don't know. She's saying it wasn't detectable. There's a fucking number right there, dummy. WTC7, Richter scale, 0.6 on the Richter scale. I don't know. This is driving me crazy. I got to tell you.
When NIST was having a meeting about trying to figure out what happened to Building 7,
Yeah.
they were debating if the towers collapse. They called it collapsing.
No, sure, they call it collapsing with air quotes.
And decided it couldn't.
What? I missed that. What now?
They were debating if the towers collapse. They called it collapsing.
Yeah.
Could have damaged the piping underground, and decided it couldn't.
So who cares?
I thought the seismic data you were going to look at was data associated with the collapse of the tower, particularly two.
The signal strength due to the collapse of the towers were not of any magnitude that was seismically significant from...
Okay, this is interesting. Not seismically significant. You know why he's saying that? Because the reason that they detect anything is earthquakes. That's what they look for. Okay? And what the point she's trying to make here, I guess, is that the vibrations caused by a building collapsing are not matching up with the scale that an earthquake, the vibrations an earthquake creates, and so therefore the building didn't fall. We see the video of it falling. I'm not really sure why she's going down this avenue. I mean, we see the building falling. Is she trying to say that it's not falling? I don't get this at all. It's not a fair comparison. An earthquake is not the same as a building falling. The guy looks for earthquake seismic waves, not building seismic waves. So he's speaking like a scientist. It's not seismically significant on the scale of earthquakes, not buildings falling.
standpoint, or from the design or failure of a structural component, or of, I would say, a piping system that might be used in a structure. So there wasn't anything that gave us pause.
She shouldn't keep showing this. Clearly they detected something.
So what's going on here? No S wave, no P wave.
Who cares?
Those two waves travel through the earth. This didn't slam to the ground. No big building slammed to the ground. Let's look at the possibilities. Tower 2 is the first tower to go away. If you turned all but the bottom 16 stories to dust and just dropped a 16-story building to the ground, it would make the seismic signal approximately that was recorded, which was a 2.1. Do the same thing for Tower 1.
So wait a minute. Okay.
Dustify
Whatever.
all but the bottom 20 stories.
Dustify? Ugh.
And you get the seismic signal that was recorded. And Building 7, if you turn all but the bottom 2.5 stories to dust, it would make the seismic signal approximately the same as what was recorded.
Yeah. Like, once again, she's not. Okay, hold on. Let me go back to that.
All but the bottom 2.5.
I want to get a good look. I haven't seen this part. 2.3 in the Richter scale. 2.1. 0.6 for Tower 7. And 2.3 for the Seattle Kingdom. I don't know. Okay, so it's come on. This is not. I'm not a structural engineer or a seismologist, but what she's doing here, this is not a good comparison for anything. For one thing, the Seattle Kingdom, it's not shaped the same, so it's covering a wider area. And B, this is a controlled demolition. This is a building falling because it's been damaged. Maybe by an energy weapon. Whatever made it fall, it's falling for a different reason, and so it's going to behave differently than this one. And furthermore, we don't know where in the hell the seismic detectors are in relation to this building and these buildings. The waves are going to lose their magnitude as they travel through the ground and are picked up by the detectors. So if the detectors are super far away, then, I don't know if maybe she did the math, like matched them all up to scale. I doubt she did. I don't know. I can move on.
Stories.
I don't really understand what her point is here.
20 stories.
So, okay, so what she's saying is like, this is good, actually. I just thought of this. So what she's saying is that this energy weapon, it lopped off just this, like to here. Like the energy weapon destroyed all of this, right? But I don't know, it couldn't also hit this. I mean, why not just lop, this much off or this much off? Like, or why didn't it just destroy the whole thing? I don't know. All right, I can move on. I don't get this. I don't really care about this.
A 16-story building to the ground, it would make the seismic signal approximately that was recorded, which was a 2.1. Do the same thing for Tower 1. Dustify all but
Dustify.
The bottom 20
Okay, I
stories.
can't listen to somebody who's saying dustify.
Building turned to dust.
Building turned to dust.
Can deny that. Many
Well,
folks
I just
see
did a
little
lot.
Squirts out each of the faces at regular intervals.
Yeah, is that indicative of an energy weapon? She's like, when she's looking at stuff like this, I mean, she's assuming it's an energy weapon. She's already made that conclusion, but is she coming from a background of energy weapon knowledge, and this is something that through experimentation a building would do when you shoot it with an energy weapon laser? Or is she just looking at this and going, I don't know what that is, so therefore an energy weapon is doing this? I know what's happening here. Why doesn't she know what's happening here? These little puffs of dust or smoke coming out, that's because the building is collapsing and it's pushing air out underneath it. There's lots of air inside of here. Most of the building is actually air. There's huge air pockets. The air pockets are the floors that people walk around in. And that air is being compressed by the floors coming down on top of it, and it's shooting the air out underneath, just like a piston. And that air is escaping out of the points of least resistance, which I assume these are probably windows that are being blown out. Let's listen to what this dummy says about it.
Say, oh, those are squibs. Well, what I'd like to ask is why there isn't more stuff squirting out.
Ugh.
If you turn...
Matt, everything is, well, why isn't it this? Why isn't it that? Who cares? I know what it is. The air is being pushed out underneath the floors collapsing. The floors above are pushing the air out of the floors underneath it. It's like an accordion.
The building to dust. You have all these water tanks in the building. Those are pressure vessels. When the walls of those begin to dissolve or weaken...
What?
At some point it's going to cut loose.
Huh?
And it's going to squirt water out.
She thinks, this lady thinks that there's water there's tanks of water in the building.
In 9.5 seconds. That stuff's got to shoot elsewhere.
Yes,
The average
it's air.
it needs to shoot out is Mach 1.4.
Huh?
And the material in the middle of the building outward, Mach 2.5. That should look like all the buildings adjacent to it have been machine gun fired.
Oh, come, get out of
The
here.
building have been wired up with bombs. You ever see these signs? Turn off two-way radios and cell phones because they can cause explosives to be set off.
Shut up.
By like a rock quarry.
Whatever. Who cares?
But people think they heard explosions. Well, yeah. Bombs do go boom, but not everything that goes boom is a bomb. These Scott tanks.
Holy
those
shit,
are the
some
antennas
logic.
the firefighters wear when they're in smoking
I'm
fires,
shocked
so
that
they
she's
can breathe.
actually-
They have extra Scott tanks they carry on their fire trucks. Those are exploding at ground level.
I don't know what she's talking about there.
Many of them talked about that, these Scott tanks. There's various testimony, but one in particular that I'd like to read. Vehicle 219 destroyed. Was it on fire? What? Was it on fire? Fire? We saw the